Well, we're gonna have fun with this one. Shall we begin the countdown?
Yes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone! Welcome to another episode of Arkosaurs Evolved. Here we talk about the weird and wacky creatures in Ark Survival Evolved and how they compare to those found in our world. And today, we have something pretty weird and wacky, and a little scary too. And unlike most of the creatures found on the Ark, it met humans. So let that tickle your nightmares. Before we get to that though, as always, we usually introduce ourselves. I am Doc Dino, out here in the desert of Wyoming. Well, currently in my hotel room. But hunting for fossils. Just found a new site the other day, and I am happy about it. It's a
Those
lot
are
of
your
paperwork.
sites. You can talk about it if you want, eventually.
In about 2 months.
Well, let me make sure
No.
a certain someone doesn't rip my head off for it, but eventually.
Yes.
yeah.
And I would also
Oh.
I'd rather you not expose everything at the site, but you don't have to do.
I'm not giving location or nothing, but I've
Oh,
found
God,
a lot
no.
of bones.
Oh no, like that is a big
That's-
no-no. Like
Yeah.
for anyone,
Yes, I know.
For
Oh.
anyone who wants to go into paleo, when you're dealing with National Park Service or anything like that, locality data is a big no-no. Like
Don't
they
ever
take
share
that-
location.
they take that very seriously.
Well, you can share locality information with the proper authorities.
Yes.
Yes.
But keep in mind, fossil poachers exist, and they will steal your fossils and sell them to the highest bidder,
Steal them,
and then they're lost
or
forever.
or other times people who are really dumb destroy the fossils, which is worse. Because at least with fossil poachers, as example with some recent reconstruction of dinosaurs, you might be able to get those back. If a fossil's destroyed, you're not getting that back.
You're done. Game
Yeah.
over.
Nope. The best thing is, porque no los dos. 'Cause
Correct.
both can happen.
Yes.
Well,
But-
at any rate, that's me and that's my adventures. To my right, Dom has a little announcement.
I have more adventures. Hello, my name is Dominic. I am a fossil prep intern at the MCZ, or Harvard Museum of Comparative Zoology, if you don't know what that means. And I might have mentioned recently that I was only a summer intern. I am no longer just a summer intern. I am getting extensions or kind of. I believe I can say this. I'm getting extensions as we go on. I will not say how long my extension is for, because I want to be at least a bit cautious. But yes, I am no longer just a summer intern. I am now currently an intern. Yes, there's a difference.
He has been
And-
promoted, folks. He's still no longer paid, but he has been promoted. He's now executive intern.
Baby steps.
Yeah, actually, that's a funny story. One of the interns I'm working with, she made the joke of, I'm getting demoted from paid intern to unpaid intern.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
still great news, and we're happy to hear it, man.
Yes.
And lastly is...
My name is Eric. I am a incoming master's student at the University of Bristol, and this may be the last time you hear that, because as of this recording, I will be leaving for Bristol in 1 week. So the next
When
time
this
you
video
see me,
comes out, actually, he'll be
Yeah.
leaving.
and next time you see me, I will be an official master's student. So yeah,
Ooh.
Very
pretty big
good.
transition, but it's a great program.
We're all
Oh, yeah.
moving forward. We're
Oh yes.
we're working
I
on
have-
it.
Yeah, and I get to do the funny paleontology thing of looking for what's the next closest museum to you to internship at.
Well, at least for now,
Internet.
we are all members of the Bonehead.
The Bonehead!
That might be the worst one yet.
And that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
All right, now let us transition to the creature du
Oh,
jour.
come on.
Megalania prisca. Or is it? So we have a big old lizard, right?
Big lizard.
Big,
Oh,
Very
it's...
big lizard.
Why is its face
The
so
biggest
bad?
lizard
I
ever.
love this. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Its face is not great.
It
The
is
rest of it's great,
not.
though.
I do like the little crest, though.
I don't like
Yes,
the
it's
crest.
a nice...
So anyway, an interesting creature for sure. And what does the name... Well, first, I guess, before we go over what the name means, how should we address this guy? Should we call it
Megalania.
Megalania prisca or Varanus priscus?
Megalania prisca.
Well,
Oh god. That's bad. Sorry if I've been interrupting people. My internet's being shit today. This should be called
That's
Megalania prisca. Well, yes,
Right.
it is
I also
technically...
just realized, I realized I forgot to make the platforms again. So I'm gonna be doing that super quick.
Okay. This should
We're
be called...
professionals, I swear.
We should call this Megalania. Official papers call this thing Megalania. While it is Varanus priscus, Megalania has become its common name. This is one of the very few creatures, prehistoric creatures, that has developed a common name. I think Megalodon is another one, because its species name has become its common name.
as is T-Rex.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Tyrannosaurus. Or are you using Tyrannus
Using
or
T-Rex.
T-Rex as the common? Just no,
Yes, which
Like,
I would have
yes,
probably...
What do you mean by that?
T-Rex is the common name. Just T-Rex.
Oh, okay. Also, for some reason, when I open my menu, it makes my screen freak out, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, it's like
It
the
does seem to
one
be an issue.
like species name. Like, whenever you think of like animal names that abbreviate their genus name, you have like, instead of Allosaurus fragilis, you have A fragilis. Instead of Triceratops horridus, you have T horridus. Tyrannosaurus rex is the only one where that's pretty much commonplace now. T Rex.
Yeah, just T-Rex.
You know, that's fair. That is fair, actually.
Yeah. That's...
Well,
Wait, how long are these again? These boards?
3 meters each, so 9 meters?
This thing's...
ish?
Actually,
It is
it's
huge.
probably a bit big.
Too big. Yeah,
I
it's
don't
a
know about
bit too
that.
tiny. Like,
Well, we'll get into that later. We'll get into that.
yeah.
For
So
now,
anyway.
maybe... Shall we go over, I guess, Megalania prisca and its discovery, and then maybe we can transition and talk about Varanus priscus.
Yes, okay. I will tackle this, because if you didn't know this about me, and you haven't, I initially... Well, I've wanted to go in paleontology for a while, but there was a time in my life that I didn't think that was an option, so I wanted to go into herpetology. And Megalania is a big reason for that, because it's a big lizard, and I like big lizard. So, I've done a lot of research on the big lizard. The big lizard was discovered by Richard Owen in 1859, the father of paleontology.
Well, named by Richard Owen.
Yes, it was named by Richard Owen.
I don't think he often credited his discoverers.
Like it says he described it in 1859, but yeah.
Well, mind you, he described it because it was listed as giant marsupial bone, and then he said, "Wait, this isn't a giant marsupial."
This is a giant
course it
Komodo
is.
dragon looking thing.
Yes, and he named it Megalania prisca, which is one of the coolest names ever. The giant... Sorry, well, it's technically ancient, but the ancient great roamer, or, which is, I think...
Well, it's giant roamer, or giant wandering ripper, right?
Wait, I'm trying to... Wait. I'm trying to check.
It means
Oh!
ancient great roamer.
Yes, but because of a mistranslation, Romer became butcher.
Which is a bit cooler.
Yes. So the names have basically been combined into one, where we call this thing the Giant Wandering Ripper.
Which, honestly, very fitting.
Yes.
And
But yeah,
despite the fact that it was, despite the fact that
you
it
go
was
first.
named by Richard Owen, it's not from the UK. It is actually from a place very familiar to us, which is why we have a giant kangaroo hopping around this little island.
Actually,
Megalania from Australia.
Percoptodon was very slightly oversized, right? You think Megalania and Percoptodon are actually equivalent to each other in size if you just shrink them down by about the same amount?
Pretty much.
I think you have to shrink Megalania less, but yeah, maybe.
Alright.
Like the Percoptodon we kind of settled on is the absolute maximum, well, slightly beyond the absolute maximum of what the species could achieve. This
true.
just looks like an XL Megalania, well, probably within the bounds.
Yeah. Lizards get
weird. Go away.
Get out of here.
You don't belong here.
Well, if you want to understand why the mistranslation happened, it's actually the first time I've ever seen this. It's because of Greek and Latin being dumb. So, technically...
Oh, wow, that's never happened before.
Lania, or Lania in Latin, is the feminine word for butcher in Latin. But elenio, which is, I believe I'm saying that right, is the Greek word for I roam. He did the paleontology thing of changing it so it sounds better, so it was Megalania instead of Megalanio, which I agree with. But Lania just means butcher. And is Mega also Latin? Or is Mega Greek?
I'm not sure.
Let me check.
I think it's Greek. I think Giga is the Latin equivalent.
I
could be wrong.
But because people use Latin and Greek not interchangeably, but a lot for extinct names, a lot of people thought it meant butcher, and when Owen meant roamer. Now, mind you, I don't care. Both work. It's a cool creature.
Yeah. Both work. But then there was a proposal in recent years to do away with the name Megalania. Due to a few things, but mostly because there are very few aspects of its anatomy, at least from what we've seen, because unfortunately, most of the specimens we have are very fragmentary. But there's nothing in anatomy that really sets it apart from other monitor lizards, except for its size.
Yeah. If there's nothing to none. This thing... Now, mind you, I just did a bit more research into it. It does appear to be very convergently Komodo dragon based. But as of a most recent paper on the brain case study we were looking at, it seems like it is most closely related to the lace monitor of Australia.
Well, there's kind of a debate.
Yeah.
For me, I'd stand by it's a sister taxa to Komodo dragons, and would that actually may be a good transition to phylogeny?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
that's could be. This is our first lizard, is it not?
Yes,
it is. And I mean, we all know lizards are reptiles, Reptilia, the class, but there are different types of reptiles. There's Arkosaurs, which include, dinosaurs, crocodilians, pterosaurs, but there's also Squamata, which includes almost, if not all the snakes and the lizards.
I believe includes
Now-
everything that's a snake and lizard.
Pretty much. Now, specifically, Megalania is from the family Varanidae, which include basically it's a group of carnivorous and frugivorous lizards that include, the living genus Varanus and a lot of extinct genre, kind of like maybe mosasaurs. Yeah,
That's a little debate we can tease a little bit. I think we should save the full
Yes.
thing for mosasaurs.
yeah,
though.
for mosasaurs.
Yeah,
And
for mosasaurs.
in the family Varanidae, Megalania is in the genus Varanus, which includes stuff like parentes, lace monitors, Nile monitors, and even
Well-
the Komodo. What's that?
Well, a little asterisk there. It is currently in Varanus. For
Yes,
the reasons
which-
we previously said. There's no distinguishing characteristics, so they get lumped.
Yes.
Which,
Including Komodo dragons, Varanus komodoensis, and Varanus priscus is the new scientific name for Megalania, because a lot of authors consider Megalania to be a junior synonym of Varanus.
Yes.
Now,
which,
yeah,
It-
there's been
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, the reason why it changed from Prisca to Priscus is because usually, if the genus name is masculine or feminine, the species name changes to reflect that.
yes.
Prisca is feminine, Priscus is masculine, Megalania is feminine, and Varanus is masculine. So
Technically,
made
it
the swap.
shouldn't have changed because Megalania, it wasn't meant to be feminine, but translation errors made it feminine.
But
Translation
naming
errors are
conventions
fun.
prevailed.
Yes, and people like Giant Ripper over Giant Roamer.
So basically, where Megalania stands in the genus or the family Varanidae, or the genus Varanus, it's been a bit of a debate. There's been a lot of studies that kind of go back and forth on, where exactly does Megalania go on the Varanid family tree. There was one, Lee, 1996, which, looking at skull roof morphology, indicated that it may be more closely related to parentes, Varanus giganteus. But there was also a study by Head et al. 2009, which, looking at neural cranial osteology and neural cranial similarities, it has been suggested that Megalania may be a sister taxa to Komodo dragons themselves, with lace monitors being the closest living relative, in Australia at least. Now, given Komodo dragons did used to live in Australia, that might be a bit of a debate, but as it stands, the most recent study suggests it may be a sister taxa to Komodo dragons.
I thought we did have definitive Komodo remains from northern
We do.
Australia.
Yeah, we do.
We
I
do.
just mean the term closest living Australian relative.
It might be a bit of a misnomer because
Yeah.
of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
That's
I mean.
fair.
But yeah, as it stands, Komodo dragons seem to be basically at the moment, it may be the closest living relative, Komodo dragons.
Oh, hey, we have one hunting.
Nom, 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 nom. And
Oh, there
actually,
it goes.
that will actually point me into a new point of the other reason there something else that was discovered when the relation of Varanus was. I think it's actually either it was a very near study based its hunting techniques, because Megalania
Oh, yeah.
is venomous. If you subscribe to the idea that it isn't, you're wrong.
It is
Oh,
outdated.
dear.
In most of the Varanus genus, including Komodo dragons, especially Komodo dragons, you may have heard, basically their bit was full of noxious bacteria that made you have an infection. Now, one, that is dumb, because that's all predators besides felines. most predators bite, are awful to get bit by. I think mammals are like the only things that don't really do that, because mammals like to
You
be
don't want to get
clean.
bit by a dog.
No, that's
No.
true. That's true.
Like rabies is still a thing.
Yeah, but
Well,
mammals
and
tend to be a
just
lot.
general hygiene. Yeah.
Mammals tend to be cleaner.
Humans can spread nasty infections.
Yes, humans are awful.
Yes.
But very much reptiles, and amphibians and fish and anything that's a predator. If you're eating flesh, especially if you do not care what flesh you're eating, you tend to have shit growing in your mouth. That's just what happens. It's why felines tend not have that, because felines can't be scavengers because they can't process. They need. We talked about this a few weeks ago, actually.
Yeah.
Go back to the Daedon video if you want to hear about that.
Yes, the cat
yes.
Daedon.
Yeah.
That abomination.
It is. But yes, these things are venomous. They have venom glands. Now, mind you, their bites also probably suck regardless to get bit by. They're probably filled with all disgusting stuff because they don't care what they're eating. But no, they
don't
have
brush
venom.
their teeth.
Yes.
They specifically have a. Would you want to say something first?
Oh, well, just in case anyone's curious, the method of hunting for a lot of monitor lizards, even though they have venom, is usually rip and tear until it is done.
Yes.
I'm sure Dom will go into what kind of venom they have, because it's a special type of venom that helps with that.
Oh, yeah.
But their goal is to bite onto you and cause as much blood loss as possible, and then just let you run. And they
damage. And their venom helps with that, as they have a hemotoxic venom, I believe. It's not hemotoxic, it's hemotoxic. That is a difference. It's spelled very similarly. But basically, there are many you know what? This is the only properly venomous creature in the game that isn't a bug, so that should be venomous, I will mention.
Well, yeah.
It should be venomous. This is the only vertebrate in here that should be venomous. So I will talk about venom in general. There are many types of venom. There's I think 8 or 9 different actual types, but they affect 4 main things. And there's necro and myotoxin, or mitotoxin. They affect cells. Necrotoxin is, if you ever got bitten by a black widow and you've seen the actual damage that caused, that's an example of necrotoxin. It kills your cells.
Yep.
I believe also some vipers have necrotoxic venom, or myotoxic.
Are rattlesnakes necrotoxic?
That's
rattlesnakes are
neurotoxic.
hemo. No.
Hemotoxic?
Okay.
It's one of the two.
I thought it was neurotoxic.
It might be.
Let me double check.
Yes. Neurotoxin. Neurotoxin affects your nerves. Jellyfish, I know, are neurotoxic.
It makes you lock up.
Yeah, lock up, stiff. There are some spiders that are neurotoxic. Have you ever heard of a spider that makes you have an erection? That's neurotoxin. Yeah.
The Brazilian wandering spider, right?
Yeah. It's.
Oh, and for the record, you do not want to get bit by those. You will die.
Yes.
They're no joke.
Neurotoxin, in my opinion, is the worst, even though necrotoxin literally degrades you. Because neurotoxin, it's probably the slowest death. Or if you get to jellyfish, you drown. That's actually
usually die by asphyxiation, right?
Yes, it's usually asphyxiation or the heart stopping, because there's generally not enough electrical impulses. It's by far the worst. Then there's the blood stuff, which is hemo and hemo and one more. Those do it's either a blood thinner or a blood thickener. There are videos online of someone using a hemotoxin on blood, and it turns it to a sludge. Just this mass, and it's awful. And Megalania's hemo, there's a blood thinner. You just bleed. And I know there are some hemotoxin that make you bleed from every orifice, which is...
I mean, odds are most of our viewers have experience with a hemotoxin because of mosquitoes. That's why you get all itchy and you get those bumps.
Yeah.
Not a fun time.
I believe there is one more. Technically, I actually don't know if this is technically neuro, but bee and ant venom is a bit different. Their venom is made to cause the most amount of pain humanly possible. I don't remember. I think it might be I think it might also be a neurotoxin, but people tend to classify them differently because they don't want to kill you, unlike most venoms. They want you to go away, and it's painful. It's this burning, stinging sensation. If you ever got stung by a bee, it hurts like all hell.
Or
and depending
a
on the
bullet ant.
species, it can last for weeks or years.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Which tends to dissuade predators.
A little bit, yeah.
Anti-predator defenses are no joke.
So, if you don't know what venom is caused by, also, the difference between venom and poison. Venom, it's very easy. Venom is injected. That's just straight. Venom, if you eat something that is venomous, you tend to be... Actually, there's a great thing. If you bite it and you die, it's poisonous. If it bites you and you die, it's venomous.
Yeah, for reference, your average human can drink gallons of rattlesnake venom and be just fine.
People
It
do
won't
that
taste
and
very
mix it
good,
with
though.
alcohol.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's alcohol with like rattlesnake and scorpion venom in it, and people just down it.
Oh, damn.
Of course there is.
Yeah,
One like Arizona.
yeah.
Called it.
Yeah, it's the bottles that have like the snakes or scorpions in them tend to have like
That cannot taste good. Like, yeah.
But
Who
yes, venom's bad, and from what I understand, venom seems to always be worse than poison, because poison... Oh, I'm lagging. I'm waiting until I'm back. I'm back! Yes.
You're back.
Okay.
You're good.
Venom is usually meant to do one of two things. Kill or make you go away. Poison is just usually a dissuader for predators. So usually it's just an irritant. At least from my perception of how poison works. It's meant to be like, don't eat me, please, I won't be good for you. Venom is very much, I need you to die.
Yeah, capsaicin is technically a poison, isn't it?
Yes, capsaicin is poison. Which is very funny.
Yeah, of course we cultivated and intensified it.
Yeah. Spiciness is poison. That's why it hurts when you eat peppers. It's meant to.
Because it's supposed to.
Yes.
It's meant you to stop eating the pepper. But yeah, Megalania's venom is a hemotoxin. It's a blood thinner. It's meant to make you bleed. So while this thing's tearing into you, you just won't stop bleeding.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll put up a picture of a Megalania skull here. You can just look at those teeth.
Yes.
Rip
Serrated
and
to
tear.
Yeah.
Almost
The
like it's
claws
called
are
a
also
giant
bleeding.
ripper lizard for appropriate reasons.
Yeah. No, yeah. This is also why if you see those videos of Komodo dragons hunting like it's their gar, right? The buffalo.
Water buffalo.
Yeah.
Water buffalo. Okay. You'll see like one go in and bite, and they just bleed and bleed and bleed, and they just packs them just sitting there. Actually, that leads me. Do you think this thing did the same thing that Komodo dragons do when hunting big creatures, which is just mob it to death?
Probably. Yeah. Like, it basically fills like the same niche, just bigger. So
Yeah.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I mean, from my understanding, a lot of monitor lizards, they're not exactly social, but they'll
No.
tolerate each other. So
Like, if there's
mobbing
enough
is fairly
food, they'll-
common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's enough food, they'll tolerate each other. Like, they'll in a feeding frenzy, basically.
Yeah.
They aren't cannibals, though.
They are.
Oh, very
Especially
much
to their
so.
young, which... Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead. Oh, were you going to say something, Don?
Oh, no. I hate lag. No, I was not.
Oh. Sorry, I was maybe thinking a lead into ontogenetic niche partitioning.
Yes.
Because you seemed
Yeah.
excited about that last episode.
If I may. So, if you remember last episode, I talked about ontogenetic niche partitioning. And I used T-Rex as an example and Komodo dragons to basically, to get a little more specific. Komodo dragons, what they do is, like, when they're hatchlings, their morphology is very different from the adults. They're very much like, you know, like your basic small monitor lizards, like small like lace monitors or Nile monitors, kind of on a smaller scale. And what they do is they avoid competition with the adults by eating different things. For example, they'll eat small insects, small like lizards, stuff like that, smaller lizards, and that one. And they have different lifestyles because they can actually climb trees really well, much like other monitor lizards. As they get older, though, they start graduating to bigger and bigger prey until they get to adult size. And at that size, they can hunt pretty much anything on the islands. They can hunt deer, pigs, water buffalo, and from time to time, unlucky humans if they get the taste from scavenging off buried corpses. So yeah, and it's really interesting. Like, yeah.
And that reminds me of something kind of interesting about monitor lizards in general. If we look at our little friend here, people might notice that his belly isn't quite dragging on the ground. At least not as much as you'd expect for a lizard. Monitor lizards are sort of an in-between between the normal lizard body posture. This freaking Procoptodon keeps running into me. The normal lizard posture, where they drag their whole body, and crocodilians, where they walk with an upright gait. They're kind of in between. And they're also usually a lot more active and faster than other lizards. And
Yes,
they
they
can
are.
walk or run for long periods of time. And they actually have a unique breathing system, I believe, too, different from other
Yeah.
lizards.
I believe so. I believe so, yes.
I'd have to double check that. I think they do.
I can check Varanidae quickly. But, yes. Is it a Varanid? I think it's a Varanid thing as a whole, right?
Wait.
It's not just...
It looks like they might have independently evolved a flow-through lung.
Huh.
And it's paid off because Komodo dragons, they can run up to speeds of about 20 kilometers an hour or 12 miles an hour. And
Yeah,
if we go by the logic that Megalania is just a scaled up Komodo dragon, maybe it did something similar. Maybe it was surprisingly fast for its size.
the other thing...
Okay.
The other thing that makes Varanids interesting is that they're really smart for lizards. It's why Varanids make great pets, and I actually want to monitor lizard. I don't remember if tegus are actually Varanids. I know they're close.
They are adorable.
Yes, but most monitor lizards are very smart, and if you ever people who have them tend to describe them as dogs almost. They can learn their name, they can learn trick, they can be taught, and they can problem solve. So, and that's the other thing that Megalania shares very much in common with its things is its brain case, which means Megalania is also pretty smart for a lizard.
Mhm.
Which scares me because it means these things could have easily these things probably were pretty good problem solvers. So, like, I've heard stories of monitors opening up their glass enclosures after seeing it done a few times. And
Yep.
such.
And they're great climbers, too.
Oh god, yeah.
They can climb houses, which is something we will get to see later on because the game actually references that.
Yeah!
Now, Megalania probably was too big to climb trees.
I actually don't know about
Trees, but maybe not someone's hut.
that. Oh god, yeah.
Probably would have crashed through it.
Like,
Yeah.
now, to answer your question, Dom, about tegus, they are not varanids. They are from the genus Salvator and the family Teiidae. So,
Okay.
different family.
Gotcha.
Well, at any rate, I did want to mention, I brought up the idea of this thing crashing through someone's hut.
Yes.
And that is because these giant, fast, intelligent lizards lived at the same time as that hopping kangaroo.
You might want to
If
call
you've
it.
seen our episode on Procoptodon, they probably met humans. In fact,
You would
I'd be
even-
surprised if they didn't.
You'd even call it a monster we met.
We'll get to that with popular culture in a bit.
We'll get to that. That wasn't actually that bad, but
No, I like monsters we met.
no, painful.
Yeah. It's,
I meant the pun.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, the pun was awful, bud. So are all puns, basically.
At any rate, while we're going through our checklist of things we normally talk about, we brought up that this thing was a good hunter. Shall we maybe talk a bit about its ecology? And we have already gone a bit into its environment with Procoptodon, so we don't have to rehash all of that, but
Correct.
what was this thing eating?
Anything it wanted.
Yeah, it was a top order carnivore. It was what we call a macro predator. Now, for those of you who do not know, macro predator means a carnivore that is specifically evolved to hunt things as big or bigger than itself. Examples include lions. They hunt big game. T-Rex is a great example. And so is Megalania, because they were probably hunting all the big marsupials, all the big mammals of Australia, which include, like we said, Procoptodon, our terrifying walking kangaroo that walked like a man. Still wrapping my head around that. And our giant wombat, Diprotodon, which got to be as big as a rhino. So he was hunting big game. So big.
And we've already been over it had the venom and the ripping jaws to do both. Or to
Megalania probably wasn't picky. It probably would, and the way it hunted is probably like a Komodo dragon, which is if it caught you, it bit you. It probably an ambush hunter maybe, but are Komodo dragons even really ambush hunters?
They
do ambush.
Yeah.
They're a weird combination of ambush and cursorial predators.
I would assume these are probably the same.
Pretty much.
But that said, Komodo dragons are, again, a lot like crocodilians. They're happy to eat carrion and bones.
Yeah.
They have really powerful stomach acid, so they don't have to worry about all that bacteria. They just scarf everything down.
Yeah.
Actually, that actually reminds me of a story from the 70s where there was this European tourist, Baron Rudolf von Bibereg. And what happened was he hurt his knee during a hiking trip in Komodo Island, so he told the other hiking his group to like go on without him, and he'll sit under a tree and catch his breath. But when they got back to the tree where he was completely missing. All that was left was, I think, a boot and his glasses. And the prevailing wisdom is that he was killed and eaten by Komodo dragons.
Which,
Honestly, probably pretty likely, though there would have been a lot of blood at the scene.
I mean, actually, not entirely. If one bit him and if he got up and ran, actually, if a boot, like, I could have easily seen, if it's just boot and glasses, those sounds like things that you could lose if you're tripping over yourself.
That's fair.
Yeah, and they probably dragged him off to like a secluded
That's
spot
also
to
true.
eat.
Well,
also
I mean,
true.
Komodo, they'll eat out in the open. They don't care. They're the top predator.
Yeah.
That's all.
They just start scarfing down before other Komodos show up.
Now, mind you, smart Komodo dragon, I could easily imagine them being like, them following that group of people for a while, because Komodo dragons are man-eaters, but not in the way that the man-eater usually means. They're the same as the man-eater that polar bear means, meaning humans are on their main food source.
Yes.
They're not.
It's not like... Yeah.
It's not a big cat situation where they become man-eaters because they either are sick or find humans easy. It's just, oh, you're another thing in my environment I can eat. So
You are made of meat. I eat meat. I eat you.
they also eat
It's
bones,
real estate.
which tends to be the prevailing thing of why humans aren't very delectable to most things, because humans aren't made of much. We are skin and bones, and predators tend to like other things that aren't that. So
Yeah, Komodo dragons are not picky.
No.
Nope.
And Megalania probably wasn't either.
Oh god, no.
I am curious. Do we have coprolites attributed to Megalania, or
Not that I
No.
know of. No.
But we do have something. Megalania's skull has a tiny crest in the middle of its head.
it actually does?
It
It
does,
does?
yes. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually,
Can you put it in the group chat?
Oh. Let me see if we get a picture of its skull. But it does say that that's one of the distinguishing factors of Megalania itself. So,
Oh yeah, I can
there's
kind of see it.
technically something.
oh yeah, I see it.
This is
Huh.
exaggerated on this thing, but that's probably what's differentiating it as a species more than a genus. Is it has a actually that's not even a sagittal crest. I'm using that word wrong.
No, that looks like a display feature.
Yeah.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Huh.
Or I
That's
guess I
pretty
just
cool.
never saw it. It's neat.
Yeah, we'll put it on screen for you guys.
Ta-da! But yes, this thing now, there are theories as to why Megalania went extinct. The prevailing theory appears to be because of humans. I don't subscribe to a lot of the Australian megafauna in particular dying because of humans, because of how much change Australia went through during the last ice age. Those seem like a lot more environmental factors, especially because of the predators in Australia seem to be a bit more specialized in hunting weird things that would be a lot more human, because of Procoptodon mostly. And humans... Sorry, I just saw a chicken fly by my window because my chickens are outside.
Ooh, well,
Oh no,
sorry,
a
really
chicken.
quick. I just, I got. Oh, this is from Monsters We Met. I just found an image of a Megalania on Google, and it's horrifying.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the monster in Megalania is a monster. Literally.
It is.
Looks like
It's
pretty colors, though.
Oh yeah, the monster man actually Megalania is nice and pretty.
Oh, and it has the crest.
Yeah. Again, it's a main thing of Megalania, which is nice.
Though the tail is a tad short.
Yes, Now, viewers, you may be thinking, we haven't talked about the size of Megalania and how, because most things in Ark are a bit oversized. Maybe with Megalania. Because it's a Varanid, Varanids tend to do weird things with their size. The average Megalania, from what we understand, it's pre-caudal, which, if you didn't know what pre-caudal means, it's the length of, if you remove the tail, is about 6 to 9 feet, from what we understand. Now, mind
Which is
you, that's
still gigantic.
oh god, yes. And if you add a tail, because Varanids tend to have longer tails, probably doubles that length. About.
So, with my character laying down, my character is about, I don't know, probably 5.5 to 6 feet.
Its head's too long. Actually, its head, maybe not.
So, about a little. Well, my character's length to 1.5 times my character's length is the body of an average Megalania.
Yes. So this thing's a bit actually it is very oversized.
Well, for the average sized, but
yes.
Yeah, like
Varanids are odd.
They can get up
like
to 225% their average size.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So
if it's
let's just move that back.
If it's a 12-foot long average Megalania, that would make it, let's see, 12 times 2.25, 27 feet.
Yeah.
Actually, 2 character lengths, or I'm gonna say 11 to 12 feet, and I am at its tail base.
Yeah, so this might be a maximum size Megalania god.
Yeah.
Maximum.
Like
But still within the range of possibility, which is horrifying.
This is probably max size Megalania.
Big boy. Which is horrifying! Imagine, again, we've mentioned this before, that that Pleistocene Australia was probably hell.
Yeah.
You see these giant walking kangaroos, and then, because actually, Komodo dragons are diurnal, right? They tend to not be nocturnal, or is it both?
I think they're what is it when you're active? They're cathameral. They're active whenever they're hungry.
Okay, so yeah. Imagine
they also have a higher body temperature than most lizards. They're not entirely cold-blooded.
True.
Yeah, they're primarily diurnal.
Imagine setting a
but
fire.
I know they do hunt at night, or at least they'll eat at night.
Then my story does work. Imagine you're at night with like a group of hunters, and you hear something and then on the rock above you, you just see this giant head looking down.
Just see this thing wandering around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it could walk again.
I don't like its walk. Its walk's outdated.
Yeah,
it is, but it's
not very good.
It's frightening. Oh,
yeah. It gives the idea.
They're good guard dogs.
If Varanids tend to run like this, that's an awful motion I just did. Yeah.
Oh, hey, it dropped an egg.
Kind of like that.
They sway their body side to side. Very snake-like, actually.
Yeah. When I was in elementary school, those 4-wheel scooters you would sit on in gym class.
Yeah, and you'd scoot along. I loved those things.
Yeah, I always laid on my stomach and pretended I was a Komodo dragon on one of those things. So I got practice.
Yeah. But these things were really good climbers. They probably terrified Aboriginals. There are stories, there are theories that the Bowie, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah,
Bowie. Australians.
Or Hui?
Hui might be that might be a correct punctuation. I don't know how to pronounce Aborigines words.
Imagine walking through the savannah and then just seeing that.
Yeah, that's horrifying. Yeah. Nope.
It's terrifying. This is a legitimate dragon.
Yeah. This probably wasn't even the main man-eater of Australia. That was probably Thylacoleo carnifex. That probably,
And then Megalania just ate the scraps.
Yeah, I would assume. What is
my
chicken doing?
So there's a there's a term I've seen mostly thrown around in games like The Isle, but I can absolutely believe that Megalania was a devoted corpse bully.
Oh God, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Komodo
Like, this
dragons
thing
are.
stole kills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Do you think
any
it was
predator.
Yeah.
You go first.
Oh, was gonna say, do you think it was a KOSer?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh God, yes. I especially think it was excelled at that because I think we mentioned this in our. Actually, I don't remember if we mentioned it in a
Ooh,
video,
okay,
but
no, that's terrifying.
oh
What?
no! You walk outside your
Staring in
house
your
and
window.
that's just there. Oh no!
No.
Just no. Oh,
I
God.
give up on life.
No.
Yeah. Predators. Oh, what did we mention this in? What did we mention that herbivores tend to be the worst things in the environment? What did we mention it in?
We brought it up in Daedon.
Yeah.
We did? Okay. So the reason why is because predators tend to need, I think we mentioned this data on too, tend to need their stuff to hunt, which means Megalania excels at being a corpse bully because one bite would spell death. Unlike, so nothing probably wanted to fight a Megalania because you get bit once and you get venom. Nope. Actually, I don't know about that.
Yep.
No,
And,
yeah,
you know,
because
with
it's
the constitution modern Varanids have, you could
Yeah.
probably, like, bite off its tail and it would be fine. It would
Yeah.
not care.
So
Yeah.
you're fighting something that doesn't care how injured it gets, and one bite from it spelled weeks of no food. So this thing, I could actually imagine this thing following a Thylacoleo, just waiting for it to kill something, and then just steal it, like how bears do to packs of wolves.
Yeah. Little clipped up
Maybe
hairs.
that's why Thylacoleo climbed trees.
Oh,
Probably.
that's
Like
I actually.
the
ooh,
one. The
There's
one
a
thing
paleo
I
theory for
was
you.
scared of.
Yeah. I was going to say Thylacoleo, but Thylacoleo probably cashed its kills, actually. Like a leopard.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. But there's another apex predator that we did mention in Procoptagon that is supposed a rival for Megalania, even though I don't think it ever met it, which is Quincana, which is a giant terrestrial crocodile.
Before you talk about it, should I spawn in a few capros as an analog?
Yeah, as a tiny
Yes.
analog, but yeah.
Oh yeah, well, the smaller species.
Yeah, that's true.
Smaller.
Quincana has like 20, like what, 4 or 5 species? Ugh.
Yeah. Quincana was. Quincana
Only
was
6 meters
menace.
long. By the way, Quincana's
Actually, the
like,
capros in game might be that size.
yeah, but the Megalania is its maximum, so
That's fair.
yeah. I'm of the opinion that Megalania and Quincana probably niche partitioned, which Gojira mentioned earlier, but there's another thing with niche partitioning between predators, so they never interact with each other, so that they don't competition. So Quincana probably stuck to the jungles and wet areas, while Megalania was the king of the outback. That's actually a pretty good size for Quincana.
Yeah.
Here's our Quincanas. How terrifying is that shit?
Yeah. I wouldn't say they never interacted. Like,
Yes.
niche partitioning, like, it minimized competition, but it didn't eliminate it. Like, I would assume, like, if it was, like, tough times, they would probably, like, compete with each other for what was left, but not normally. Like, it would be kind of like Spinosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus, where in good times they kind of, like, let each other be, but in, like, tough times, they would compete for what was left, and it would get ugly.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
But I mean, either way, both are absolutely horrifying. I will say I am excited to get to the Capro. I like the Capro game.
That Capro looks awesome.
Sadly, it's not accurate, but
yeah, but
it's
still cool.
It's still cool.
Very
still
cool.
Bear Croc. You never go wrong with Bear Croc.
Yeah. With predators, the other thing is land wasn't safe because you'd have had. Oh god, it got dark. because
Yeah,
you had
I'm getting the
giant
time frame.
reptiles and evil things, and then the water you met the biggest living reptile on the planet. That is the saltwater crocodile, which is what 30 feet long. The biggest one.
20, like
20 to
23 feet.
25 at most, I think.
I've heard
At
Yeah,
least
like
for modern
23 feet
ones.
long.
at least from
like-
modern ones. That's true.
Like, let me see. Like the largest confirmed one was about 20 feet 8 inches.
Really, I thought it was bigger than that.
Like, I mean, there are rumors of like 25 footers, but again,
Oh.
those are rumors. Like,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I'm oversizing things because I'm a paleontologist. It's what I do.
How dare you.
as is
Yeah.
tradition.
Also,
How
all
dare
these
I.
capras turned out with almost the same color scheme. It's weird.
They did. I don't see many pretty capros. They all are the same.
I've seen a few like pretty navy blue or purple
I'm
ones.
gonna go
And-
for a tiny bit. Talk about things that I won't be here for. Like,
Oh, sure.
10 minutes.
Let's see. We've gone over what it is. Its ecology.
Popular culture.
Yeah, we can start getting into popular culture. We
Now-
did already reference Monsters We Met.
Yes,
I'll go ahead and
2003.
pop that one on
Really good
screen.
documentary. And honestly, like, regarding popular culture, there's not a whole lot of Megalania outside of documentaries. Like, of course, there's Ark, and there's The Isle, which has Megalania concept art, which is really good, actually. And
Path of Titans has a really good Megalania, actually.
Path of
And you can choose
Titans,
to make it
that's really good.
semi-aquatic.
which isn't that far-fetched, because piranhas are really good swimmers, especially Komodo dragons.
Yes,
How do you think they
swim
got on the
between
island? How do you think they got there? So,
Yeah.
And outside of documentaries, like, there's also like one very recent documentary about Australian megafauna. Like, let me look up what it is. Like,
While you're doing that, I think it was in Monsters Resurrected too.
yes, there was an episode on Megalania.
Yeah,
It
the
was-
Great
yes.
Ripper, of course.
Yes. The documentary Megafauna: What Killed Australia's Giants. It was very recent, and yeah, the Megalania looks terrible. Like, I'll send a picture of it in the group chat, and it's not very good, which is a shame because everything else in the documentary looks amazing.
Oh wow, yeah,
It is rough.
its head is weird. Oh, and it looks like it was like the centerpiece, at least for the main poster. Oh, that's too bad. Oh, the Diprotodon and Procoptodon look perfect. What happened?
I don't know, like all they had to do was like scale up a Komodo dragon and put a crest on it. That's all you needed to do.
That's a shame.
Ah well, can't win them all. Monsters
Yeah, I
Resurrected. Like, can't believe I'm actually saying this, but Monsters Resurrected actually did something good with its Megalania. It looks really good.
Something I do kind of like sometimes on Monsters Resurrected, I like the portions where they take the creature and put it in the real world.
That is kind
like
of
I'm
cool.
looking at, like right now, I'm looking at an image of a Megalania chasing down someone in a deli. And it's terrifying, and
That would be pretty
it's
accurate.
the perfect size.
Wait, isn't there a scene of
Oh,
it chasing down a pickup truck?
I think there was
there
one about
probably
it.
is.
There was one of it chasing a bull.
That's what it is.
Oh,
It's the
I remember
bull.
that.
It's,
Oh, and there's the link to the one attacking someone in a deli. That's terrifying.
it's so good.
If only
Monsters Resurrected was hit or miss, but when it hit, it hit.
it hit.
Oh god,
Like-
yeah.
Oh, the Thylacoleo was pretty good too.
Which
So-
it hits on the videos that aren't dinosaurs.
Though, it's Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare is pretty silly.
Yeah, Yeah. Oh, I forgot they had it take on a Procoptodon too.
And we should have won.
Oh yeah, it gets kicked in the face.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Wham.
So yes. What else? Oh, I guess we need to go in the in-game set. Actually, we kind of already covered the
Yes.
in-game stuff, accidentally.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it in Ark and in Path of Titans.
Okay, good. I don't like. Actually, it's Path of Titans one is probably more accurate, but I don't like the Path of Titans Megalania. I don't think it.
I like it, and
I really like it.
It has really good skins. It's pretty accurate, and you can make it semi-aquatic. Like you can specialize with it, and I like that.
It shouldn't be in the game, is in my opinion. It shouldn't
be in the game.
because I don't like when games put Megalania or Titanoboa or in like dinosaur games, because though especially Megalania, because Megalania is should be put in games with mammoths. Now I know it doesn't fit, but that's what it's from. So that's at least.
I get what you're saying, but Path of Titans already has dinosaurs all the way from the I want to say mid-Jurassic to the late Cretaceous.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that much more of a stretch to include Megalania.
It's actually less of a stretch, but I know.
Yeah.
It doesn't really fit the theme.
It feels like it fits, though. Like, it fills the terrestrial rock niche.
Because it's a giant lizard, I know. But I want someone to...
I don't mind it. But then again, I usually play on a lot of modded servers, so I'm used to that shit.
I just want someone to make a Isle Path of Titans type game that does Cenozoic stuff and then includes Megalania, and then be like, we include Megalania because it belongs here.
Well, it is more just dinosaurs. Beasts of Bermuda is almost all Mesozoic, I think. When did Paleophis live? Paleophis was just that.
Is Paleophis the Cenozoic, or is it the Cretaceous one? Then Gigantophis is the Cenozoic one, I believe.
Oh, possibly Campanian and Maastrichtian. So
yes,
there you go. Entirely Mesozoic, and honestly, they've really been stepping it up with their designs in the last couple years. Most of the animals have gotten TLCs, and they look pretty great right now.
Path Titans is doing that too.
I love their acro.
Yeah,
yes, their acro's nice.
I'm just not huge on the game itself.
That's fair.
It became the very thing it swore to destroy, basically.
Not sure what you mean by that. But...
because if you were in the Isle community, you'll know that it was basically a spy project where the dev of the Isle told the dev of Beasts of Bermuda, if you can do it better, be my guest. And then he made Beasts of Bermuda and
Isn't that also for Path of Titans?
But Path of Titans executed a lot better.
I don't know. I don't mind it starting as a spite project. I think it has made its own identity.
Did Beasts of Bermuda have a Kickstarter?
It did, at least.
Okay, that's what I was... Because I know Path of Titans did, because Megalania was for Path of Titans, it was a tier unlock creature. They had to raise, I think, $30,000 to unlock Megalania.
Okay. Well, at least with Beasts of Bermuda, they keep adding new creatures, and they're updating their old ones. They're not just letting them sit in the dust. Actually, just last week, they added Brontosaurus to the game as an optional version for Apatosaurus.
Speaking of things,
an optional specialization. It's pretty cool.
Game, Miragaia was just added to Path of Titans, and it's so cool.
It's really good up until the head. The head just looks...
I mean, we don't have much of Miragaia.
Yeah, but still, it's a bit too horse-like for my taste.
Like, I think most of Miragaia is like neck and thoracic vertebrae.
Do we have any? Wait, is Miragaia being discussed to not be real?
Yeah, it was thought to be like a synonymized to Decentris.
Yes.
Dacentrus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where that stands currently. Oh, we have some skull material, but it's mostly neck and forearms.
Well, of course it is.
Of course.
Yeah.
But yes, what else do we have to talk about? The Giant Ripper.
Oh yeah, we should probably talk about that. Shall we do
Yeah.
in-game stuff, or is there anything else for real life?
I think that's
really
it.
But despite the fact that I think a baby version of these would be adorable, because baby Varanids tend to not follow the lizard thing of just a smaller version.
Yeah.
They tend to do the crocodile thing of actually being a baby.
Yes.
And so I guess just to start introducing the Megalania. Oh, this is a perfect pose. Oh,
I didn't like that.
so Megalania in Ark is interesting. It's an ATV, not a fast one, but it is an ATV. As in, it can climb, and it can actually climb really well. I actually kind of like the controls, even if they are simple. They're just basic Ark walk commands.
Yeah.
But it can walk on walls. I think it can walk on ceilings. I could be wrong about that.
In its trailer,
is it immune to fall damage?
I don't think it's immune to fall damage, but it's really hard to make it fall, is it the idea? Because it auto-walks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, we forgot to do the bio.
Venomous, isn't it? Oh, that's
bio.
right. There is a bio.
I will do
who
it
wants
because I
to
like
do
the
the
lizard.
bio?
I will do it because I haven't done one in a bit.
No one can do it. Oh wait, it also has an original species name, Megalania murospeed.
Ooh, what is that?
Well, how about while you read out the dossier, how about we work on translating it?
Yes. Where the dossier? Alright, so Megalania murospeed is a. Okay, let me try Australian accent.
Oh no.
Oh, how fun. Nope, not even gonna bother. I tried my hardest, everyone. Megalania murospeed.
Yeah, you sure did.
Is among the largest creatures found throughout the island's complicated cave networks. Reaching up to 3 meters long, it can traverse vertically up cave walls with little difficulty thanks to its powerful claws. Fortunately, Megalania's size means it is unlikely to sneak up on anyone. Unfortunately for spelunkers, it is an aggressive and dangerous creature nonetheless. Like other Veridae, Megalania is a venomous creature. Its poison is slow-acting but will drain the victim's effective strength and health until death unless cured by a rare antidote. I forgot Megalania's venom in this is different.
Oh yeah.
Which actually matches.
And you need an antidote for it?
You need a rare antidote, yes.
Huh.
Anyways.
It's a nice detail.
Yeah. That said, the Megalania's prey are usually ripped apart well before they succumb to the poison's long-term effects. So like Megalania. Domesticated. The rare ability of Megalania to effortlessly climb sheer environmental walls makes it a highly sought-after mount. While it is by no means the fastest, strongest, or toughest mount, the manner in which it can effortlessly scale mountains, clamber up barricades, hide in trees, or upside down ensures it will always have a place in any tribe stables. It's actually a pretty good swimmer, too.
Yeah. You know, that's a pleasant surprise. Oh,
the Megs are coming after you, by the way.
Megs. Oh, it turns quick in water too.
It should. It's a light lizard.
Yeah. So yeah, and I translated it. So Muru is it basically translates to wall, and pide is foot. So I'm guessing you translate that as wall climber. Which, yeah,
The giant
what it
roaming
is.
wall climber? Yeah.
That's not a bad name, actually.
No.
Yeah.
Like, just in a vacuum, that's not
Pretty
a bad
fitting.
name. Yeah, so it's a useful climber, probably one of the best cave mounts because of that.
Yes.
You can just walk over all of the hazards, and
Yeah.
what you can't outwalk, like the bats, you can just eat.
Yeah.
Oh, it does a little, like, claw when it bites. That's
I do
cool.
like that. It's very nice. Now, let's go to the inaccuracies with the model, because while this is great, and a lot of us, and all three of us, from what I understand, like Megalania and its depiction in Ark, its face has issues.
I'm lukewarm.
I'm mixed.
Its face has
I
issues.
will say most of my issues are the old animations and the face. But
Yes, I did not hamper old animations, like the Gigantopithecus, I believe, that had old animations.
Yeah, but they still work. Like, they don't feel that old.
Well, I think also the Gigantopithecus had a TLC. This thing hasn't.
Hmm.
But anyways,
Well, one thing I'm curious about, should it have that gap right there?
in its mouth?
In the lower jaw. Should it have that gap of no teeth right there?
Let me check. Megalania skull. Yeah. Yes. Yes, it should.
Really?
Yes. That seems to be a
legitimate
Varanus thing.
Huh.
Or a Varanus thing. But yes, it should.
Huh, what do you know?
Yeah. Even Komodo dragons have that, where they don't have any teeth right here. But this thing should have lips, especially with how closely related it is to other Varanus.
Yeah, I mean, are there really any Lepidosaurs that don't have lips?
Most lizards have lips, actually, now that I think about it.
I can't think of a lizard that doesn't have lips.
Nope.
Of modern reptiles, is it just crocodilians that don't have lips?
Yeah, because crocodilians are aquatic. I guess turtles don't have lips. But that's because
they don't have teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just realized I said a science word there. So reptilia can mostly be split into two main groups, the Arkosaurs and the Lepidosaurs. Gojira mentioned that earlier, but I don't think he said it by name. This is a Lepidosaur.
Yeah. Because this might be a common thing of I will say things aren't real, because the issue with, actually I'll just mention that, reptilia, amphibia, and do we have a fish name?
I don't think so.
Okay. Because of how far back, because of how far back some of these go, reptilia is probably the easiest. You tend to get things that are, these things were named before things in the Carboniferous and the Devonian were found, so their names, or we're referring to the current understanding, or the modern ones. So reptilia, yes, Lepidosaurs and Arkosaurs, but there are things that aren't Lepidosaurs or Arkosaurs that aren't really reptiles, but look exactly like reptiles. Heterolachosaurus, from what I understand, is one of those things that is maybe a reptile. From what I remember, Petrolachosaurus. But yeah, so this is a real reptile, and yeah, my reptilia also includes birds, but besides the point.
Let's see. While we're looking at the skull, I'm not a huge fan of the teeth. Like, they seem to be too thick, and they're not recurved enough.
Its skull's also...
They should be meat hooks.
Yeah. Its skull's also too narrowed in. It should just be a flat thing, like a block.
It's too tall.
Yeah, it should just be a block, and it shouldn't have like a prominent snout. This thing has a very prominent snout.
Yeah. I do like that they got the crest detail. I didn't realize that was a thing, and
I could see it
probably
having that.
close to how it would have looked.
Yeah. The rest of it looks fine, though. It has a neck, which I like, because varanids are one of the only lizards that have, like, really movable necks.
Neck might be a little short, but yeah.
Yes.
It might be a little chunky.
It's fine. Tail might be too short, actually. Actually, that might be why the
Varanids have a weird tail. It's not a pole like this. It's more of like a diamond shape.
Yes. I love varanids.
Thinner.
Yeah. That might be why the body shape's off, why its size is weirdly accurate, but it feels too big, because it might be too long in its torso and head and not enough in its tail. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've already mentioned the walk animation is
old.
It's old.
Yeah, it's not great.
What's its sprint animation, if it has one?
That's
its closer.
Sidles a bit more. It's a bit better.
Why does it put its head down?
That said, if you look at a running Komodo dragon, they have this weird run where it's almost like a flail.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like flailing their arms.
It's both hilarious and terrifying.
Oh yeah. I love.
And this doesn't really capture that.
It does capture, though, is its tongue, which is definitely accurate.
Yes, actually, yeah. Ooh, should we talk? Should we talk about why it has prongs, or should we save that for Titanoboa?
We should talk about this, because I don't even know if Titanoboa should have. Well, Titanoboa should have one.
Titanoboa is a snake. It should.
Yeah, all snakes have them. I feel like this is better because Titanoboa we can talk about other things.
Okay. I don't feel like I've talked a lot. Can I explain?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for those who don't know, there are different ways of smelling. You can smell with your nose. You can also smell by breathing in through your mouth, though it's not as good as through your nose. A lot of reptiles, including snakes and varanids, and probably mosasaurs, have a long, flexible tongue with 2 prongs. And they have 2 prongs because they flick out the tongue, it absorbs particles in the air, like from the mucus on the tongue, they pull it back into their mouths, and then they can slot it into a couple holes in the top of their jaw, or in the top of their mouth. That's an area called the Jacobson's organ, and because that tongue has 2 prongs, it goes into 2 different slots, and they're read for scent independently, and it gives them a very accurate way to tell what direction the smell is coming from.
Almost more accurate than how some mammals smell.
Because when you smell, sure, it's coming in 2 different holes, but they go the same way as soon as they're in you.
Yep.
Especially because...
But it's very accurate, and both monitor lizards and snakes all have them.
Because they can also
that
direct
might be one of the
tongue.
distinguishing characteristics between them and other lepidosaurs, though I'm not sure.
I would need to look into that, but probably.
I don't
might also
think
be
a lot of
convergent.
other lizards have tongues like that.
Skinks do.
Okay, skinks do.
But skinks are
Well,
like fat.
skinks don't seem to be pronged.
Oh, they're not?
From what I'm looking at, they aren't.
Oh.
Geckos aren't either.
I know geckos aren't. Something has like a really fat prong tongue. Wait. Am I thinking of Gila monsters?
Might be.
Yes, I'm thinking of Gila monsters. Gila monsters also have a prong tongue, but theirs is like fat.
Okay. And they're closely related to varanids, right?
I actually don't know that. I know they're. I need to double check. They might be in the same. No. They are. They are a kind of. There's a thing called Monster Sauria, which is a real name, which is amazing. Which are clade
Of course it is.
Anglomorph lizards, defined as all taxa more closely related to the beaded lizards, which is Gila monsters, more than Varanus. So, yes, they are in the same order. Or not, they're in the same order. Like, they're an anguid lizard, but they're not closely. I think.
Yeah, so they're still within anglomorphs.
Yeah, still an anglomorphs, very much so.
Okay, but in the grand scheme of Squamata, I think are pretty close.
Yes.
Or at least closer.
Yes, and they're all taxa Coryphea. I don't know how to pronounce that word. I should. Which is all venomous reptiles. But yeah. Do we want to rank this boy?
I don't know. Do we want to? Anything else to say at all?
Not much, no.
Oh, I think we're good.
All right. I'm good to rank it. You know, for once, I might be one of the harsher ones here. It really needs a TLC. I know we talked about the weight, but it doesn't feel like a monitor lizard. It feels like someone took a dinosaur and made it look like a monitor lizard, but they missed out on a lot of details. It's just... I don't really like it. I like its abilities, but... I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. I'm gonna say a C-. I feel you could do a lot better for a Megalania.
Okay.
And honestly, I'm gonna say it. I love the Path of Titans one better. I think you could put that one into Ark, give it a saddle, and I think it could do this thing's job better.
I agree with Doc on the Path Titans one is that probably is what Megalania just looked like. Full stop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm biased towards this Megalania because this has always been my perception of Megalania, mind you, with a few touches for a while. Because when this was added, it was when I was really into Ark. So I'm a bit biased, but the issues of it walking and its face do hamper it a bit, and it needs to feel more like a monitor lizard than what it feels like to me. It feels like a gecko that they put monitor lizard skin on it.
It looks like a gecko. That's it.
Feels like a gecko.
It looks like a chunky gecko.
Yeah, which, as someone who's owned geckos, geckos are dumb. This thing shouldn't be dumb. It should feel like it has intelligence behind it. Mind you, that should be evil and conniving intelligence, but intelligence nonetheless. I'm gonna be biased. I'm gonna give this a B. But that's as high as I can give it. If this got a TLC, and TLC levels as like the bear TLC or the para TLC, or even the Procoptodon, this could be one of my favorite creatures in Ark. But as of right now, it is a B for me, straight B.
And Gojira.
And honestly, like, I'm kind of in between. Like, yeah, the head is not great, and I get it actually has the crest in real life, but the way it's shaped does feel a little off to me for some reason. And I get what you're saying with the whole, like, gecko comparison, but to me it kind of feels like a T-Rex lizard, if that makes sense. Like, it looks kind of like... It feels like something from, like, 65 concept art, where it's like, you know, just make it a T-Rex but a lizard. And
That's damning. I'm sorry, that's damning. But you're not wrong.
Yeah. It gives me that feeling. But I don't hate it. Like, yeah, the animations are stiff as hell, but the body itself is pretty good. So, I'm gonna have to be in between you guys and say a solid C.
Okay.
So, with that, I think that just puts it at C, right? Or C+.
Yeah.
I think that's a solid C, yeah.
Also, did you guys
So-
put Gigantopithecus on the tier list?
We did not, because you did not send us the tier list. So
Oh.
we can add that this episode.
I've
I
already
will
have.
stop this screen share.
Yes, I have. So, Gigantopithecus, it was an A, so it's on A under Doedicurus.
Do you want to pull the tier list up so we can rank this scaly
Yes,
boy?
I'm doing. Yes, and everyone,
This.
Gigantopithecus is right here.
Can see it. Yep.
So, Megalania,
Megalania.
my beloved. Where are you? Megarchelon, there you are.
Right there.
And we almost got stuck with Megacolon.
See, and I have a feeling it being with Daedon feels right. I'm gonna move
Yeah.
this
I like
down.
it more than Daedon, but that might
I like
be
it more than Daedon.
I'm also gonna move Gotcha down because we were all very mean on Gotcha.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And I will put Megalania at the top of C tier, where it belongs.
Okay, the King
Alright.
of Seas.
Yes.
Well,
C4.
we have done our ranking. Shall we do
Yes.
the other thing we do at the end of the video?
The wheel
Yes,
spin.
we
Oh, yes.
Oh no.
And yes.
Alright, let me open her up.
And it is a
Alright.
theme of creatures that are real we talk a lot more about. I wonder why.
Yeah, you know, this is almost exactly the same length as Gigantopithecus.
Yeah, it is.
It's an hour and a half.
Percuption's an hour and 45 minutes. How the fuck do you do that? We recorded that at like 1
We got to
a.m.
go a lot more into the ecology and stuff.
That's true, because there's a lot of Percoptodon stuff. I think we're probably gonna do the same thing with Alcaleo.
Alright, well, are we excited? What are we
Yes.
gonna get this time?
Yes,
I want a
we are.
dinosaur.
Right.
I want a dinosaur.
It's been a while since we've had a good dinosaur. What was the last good dinosaur?
Was
that
Kentrosaurus? He was
Probably
Kentrosaurus.
Allosaurus.
Episode
That was
4.
Kentra
episode
was
4.
okay.
4.
Yeah. Let's do a dinosaur.
Or
Alright.
pterosaur. The pterosaurs in this game
Or
too.
pterosaur.
Nautilus are good.
Yeah. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Spin!
Come on.
Give me something. Give me.
Okay! I can talk about
No.
that.
Dinosaur?
Technically a dinosaur.
Fucking.
Wow. That's
Technically, we can talk about that.
For about
Yeah.
20 minutes.
We can talk about owls for longer than that.
Yeah.
Owls are pretty neat.
Yeah.
Um,
So everyone,
And you know,
Join us
of the
next
element
week.
creatures, it's not
this is
bad.
another element creature.
Yeah, it
Join
is.
us next week for a snowy encounter.
Yes. Stay frosty, folks.
See ya.
Normal. Alice, no pun.
Beautiful.